Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 416 Southwest Pemberly Loop here in McMinnville. We're located at the front of the home. Just in front of the front doorway we have a 3-inch ABS cleanout as our point of access. I'm going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. We currently have water running. Here we go. It transitions here over to 3034 PVC pipe, appears to be 4-inch in diameter. And here at 37 feet we have reached the main. I'm going to go do locates and then we'll let the line drain out. Alright, located the camera head successfully out the main lateral on Pemberly Loop. Now you do have a slight offset here at the transition joint. I'm running my camera up against it. That lip there is hitting below the camera lens. That's less than a 1/4 inch of a lip there. More than likely what's happened here is I don't see any roots coming down or anything like that. It was more than likely just purely installed this way. They didn't meet them up flush. The pipe's still up tight against itself there, or each other, with a fernco around it. And it's such a minimal lip there, we're not seeing any debris build up there whatsoever. My opinion, that is not worth doing a repair on. We've got a little tiny strandy item there. If you look right off to the left, right at the base of the pipe there, there's 2 little stringy things poking up. What's there is so stinking small. I'll locate to see where this is at, but what's there, I mean, could just as easily be floss, string, just about there's a lot of things that mimic roots, but what we have there is so stinking small right now, I don't know if I could ever confirm whether that was roots or not. It kind of looks like it. It's a hard one to say. Let me see where this is at. Alright, just located this here, and I can show it a little easier when I pull the camera out. We may have the start of a root intrusion here. It's a very hard call to make. Sometimes roots, anyway, where this is located is just about 5 feet away from the cleanout, and it's sitting right between 2 bushes and a tree. And this spot is about 1.5 to 2 feet away from each one of those, at about a depth of 5 feet. Anyway, at this depth, it's entirely possible for especially the tree to make it down to this point. Given the location of this, I would say that there is a pretty good chance that is indeed a root intrusion coming through there. You can see here what's there is so stinking small, but it looks like I can count about 4 different little strands there. It does appear to be the very start of a root intrusion. I'm giving it about a 90% certainty that that's what's going on there. It's what we have to look at is extremely small, obviously not affecting the flow, but what can happen, sometimes roots just get through these transition joints because they have rubber ferncos around them. It's not a glued joint, so it's much easier for roots to get in through those. But what it's possible too is the roots may be wrapped around this pipe and putting some torque on it, and that's what's caused this joint to become offset here. As best I can tell, that's really what it looks like. If this spot hadn't been right smack dab between a bunch of trees, would think that was something else, but when you look right up close to that, normally if you've got string or floss or something, you're going to have a single strand. And if you look there, you can count about 4 separate little strands, which is more indicative of how roots come through, rather than a piece of dental floss, which is just going to be like a single string item sitting there. So, best I can tell, that does appear to be a root intrusion coming through. Now, I do recommend a repair on that. Obviously, at this point, it's not affecting the functionality of the line. But if the roots have done that much work on it at this point, moving it, you know, at some point that root ball is going to come through there. And at that point, you're going to have some drain cleaning or some flow problems. I'm trying to reverse direction here to scope back underneath the porch. Alright, we're now heading underneath the porch here. Make sure all the pipe under the concrete looks good. Now, unfortunately, when you have situations like this with a transition right next to trees, unless it's at a depth of about 10 feet, you can just about bet that at some point they're going to come through. So it's unfortunate they put the transition where it's at, because that's really the reason why those roots got through there. A good, strong blue joint generally does not have that problem, not unless you plant the tree right on top of the pipe, and generally has to be a little bit larger of a tree. Anyway, that's the end of the line in there. At that point, we're going into the auxiliary drains. All the pipe underneath the house here, or from the clean out back into the home, that's also in good condition. Now, the one spot here I've mentioned is at about 5 feet from the clean out. It does appear we have a root intrusion right at the transition joint. Now, I'll put a marking down here on the ground, and again, that's at a depth of 5 feet. Okay, so right here, just beyond the porch area, is where I've marked. You can see my white X marking there on the ground. We got a lot of sun coming through, but anyway, it's just a few feet away from the porch at 5 feet deep, and you can see the vicinity here of all these bushes, and especially this tree.